Yeah, like we were just talking about that, like in the car before we got here. We're like, like we used to work other jobs and, we're working so hard for other people. But like when we go through the tough times and the struggles, we always like remind ourselves, like, we're doing this for us. Like, this is our baby and like we're growing it. So like going through those growing pains is like easier to get through than, having to wake up on Monday morning and being like, oh, I hate going to work. Like we can't wait. We go to sleep on Sunday nights and we're like super excited to wake up in the morning and get grinding. So
nice.
Mondays are exciting for us. It's a new week, but often too, people are like, oh, Mondays are coming. And we're like, but every day we're working. It's not like we have weekends off, but we don't care that we don't have weekends off. So for us, we're like, yeah, it's Monday, but we just put a full work day in on Sunday and a full work day in on Saturday. So yeah, it's Monday. It's just another grind.
And to that point too, like we've got to do some pretty amazing things. Like we've been to over like 35 major conferences, we've represented Canada 3 different times internationally, just as recently as Berlin a couple weeks ago. So we get to go to these amazing places, and it's, people talk about work-life balance. Well, like we have that because we get to do it every day, and it's amazing.
Don't stop holding on when the roller coaster is getting crazy. And I think for us, we always we live by the mantra that everything happens for a reason, and that even when the bad things happen or things that aren't necessarily like part of our plan or part of our journey, we try to spin it in a way that, okay, this is happening. It has to be for a reason, and try to see that like there will be a positive outcome from it, and it always ends up being a positive outcome. So, there's stress just comes with it, but whenever you look at it and change your mindset and actually see it as, okay, there's a reason behind this, something better will come out of this, or this will work out, I think it helps relieve those stresses. We unfortunately had to recently let someone go. And the way we explained it to our team was, when you're on a team and if one person isn't pulling their weight, the whole team, that whole line isn't going to be successful. So for us, it's hard to be in those moments where you have to do something like that. But for us, whenever you think of it with a sports analogy, you're like, okay, that person would get benched in a game. That person might be cut from the team, because you always have to think ahead and you have to think about what's best for the overall vision.
Try to find people that have like a similar passion for obviously the business, right? Like I don't think I would be as passionate about like a massage health and wellness app as I am about sports tech. I think that's really important. And don't just hire right away, but like take the time to like properly vet that person, grow that relationship, and know that they're on the same level as you are before you hire them. Then you don't have to deal with a person that's not into it and into the culture. Once you've hired them, it's a lot easier to make that decision.
And I think sometimes, like, as your company grows, a lot of people are like, okay, well, the next step is to hire. Like, the next step is that we have to hire someone. But a lot of times, like, for us, Chris and I had to, we tried to hire, then we had to pull back because we said, we can do a lot of this ourselves. Like, we're at the point where now we do need to hire. But I think a lot of times, like, society and other people are in your ears saying, okay, you need to hire, because that's what traditionally would happen. But for us, I think the fact that we really invested so much of our time and really, really did the work, now the people that we're hiring and bringing on, they see how hard we've worked and they're more invested because they see the long-term vision. So we don't just hire people to come in and to just work, part-time or just, because it's a job. We really are hiring people who see the path that we're taking, the path that we're on. So I think that makes a difference.
I want to bring it back to something you said earlier about, this pressure to staff up all the time. Because in the marketing business that I'm in, it's notorious for that. So particularly here in Ottawa, a lot of the traditional ad agencies staff up and lay off, And I think it's a really important lesson for anyone listening that, before you add that new that new position, really think it through. Are you just busy now? Is this just a temporary thing? And if so, you don't want to first of all add the overhead, let's be honest, but you're also doing a disservice to that person you're hiring, because if you don't have work for them 2 months down the road, that's not a good scenario for either party, right? So
100%.
Yeah, so it's something I'd recommend. I like to use the analogy of, it's like a pot of boiling water. Wait until that thing is boiling over, and then you can start taking some water, start adding some staff to the team. Just go as hard as you can, as long as you can, before you have to add that head count.
It's so true. And I feel like last summer we thought, we need to hire, and we did. And we learned very quickly, one, it was a person that wasn't super passionate. And two, I do a lot of like the training for what her position was. And I was taking more time out of what I was doing, training her and not seeing the right results where she wasn't grasping it. So for me, I was like, okay, I can do this by myself. I'm like wasting my time training someone who's not really seeing the vision and not catching on.
So you mentioned earlier your business was in marketing and events. So what's been the biggest marketing challenge you've faced since starting this?
I mean, I think for us, like, and both our backgrounds it's sales and marketing. And you always think, well, I know what I'm doing. But whenever so we have a first to market app. A lot of our marketing and a lot of what we're selling to people, not selling, but getting out to people is new to them. So it's about educating them. And it's not just about like marketing and being like, here, download the app, or to a team, like, here, license the app. For us, it's about like literally starting at the bottom and teaching people to not just download and sign up, but also to redeem their deals, and letting them know, like, this is free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to link your credit card or buy your deal in advance, because that's how everyone thinks. So a lot of people think, oh, this is how it's always been done, so it's going to cost me somewhere down the road. And we're like, no, it doesn't. So it's been a bit of a challenge in really educating new users and potential users about what we are and how we're actually helping people and teams and sponsors.